Mount Sheridan isn't that kind of a suburb that pops on a flashy, hot property listings just yet. But if you're after a good solid rental return, tight supply, and a suburb that quietly performs, then this one's worth a proper look. Let me show you why this Cairns suburb might be one of the most balanced buys, up and coming suburb in 2025. Hey, I'm Oliver, the Value Add Buyers Agent from Insighto Buyers Agency. We help investors unlock and manufacture equity with smart design and fundamental suburb research. Today, we're breaking down Mount Sheridan right in front of Mount Sheridan Plaza. Not exciting on the surface, but underneath, really solid metrics for long-term stability and minimal investor headaches. Certain good pockets, certain not so great pockets. I've got lovely colleague Emma Craig showing us the good, the bad, the ugly. Let's hop in the car, let's go for that ride.
And this is the Mount Sheridan Shopping Centre. It tends to get a little bit when you get into this area.
So wouldn't be walking here by yourself at night?
Probably not at night.
Yeah.
That's not to say that these areas are all bad.
Yep.
We do always find, decent quality tenants for places like this.
So what's the vibe like? Where are we at? Mount Sheridan's about 15 minutes south of the Cairns CBD. You've got the land ranges in the background, you've got the rainforest nearby, and all your basics covered. Shopping plaza, schools, and parks. There's nothing hectic here. It's a suburb for families, professionals, people who want a quiet, well-connected place to live. Mount Sheridan Plaza is a big draw. Think Woolies, cafes, takeaways, shops. It's good public transport, and you're never far from nature walks or even the coast. It's got that outdoors, chill, Cairns lifestyle. It still feels connected to that urban city lifestyle.
There are definitely a number of undesirable tenants,
Yep.
not people per se, tenancies that we sort of see. Now, as you can see, obviously it's all looking a little bit sad.
Yeah, the houses are a lot more of a different vibe and feel.
Older constructions, like 30-year plus, a lot of them are poorly maintained, and you'll see lots of fences,
Yep.
big ones, and lots of security cameras.
Do they do much though, the security cameras? Do you feel that they deter, or do you feel that it's just it's just, yeah, whatever?
It's a bit of, look, I've never tried to steal a car, so can't really comment accurately. But I think that it's more peace of mind for the people that are living in these properties. But you'll see like lots of bars on windows. A lot of people use the cyclone shutters if they've been installed prior for security, because obviously you can't get through them. Not that I ever have to drive through there, but I will lock my doors.
Let's unpack and understand who's living here and what does it matter for investors. So here's where things start getting a bit interesting, start heating up a little bit. The IRSAD score, a metric that we use for socio-economic demographics, tells us that we're in a well-resourced suburb. It comes to that 5 out of 10, and that is beyond average. So what does that mean? How does that translate to property? You've got a community that's stable, has access to services, and isn't necessarily struggling. And that is always a good sign if you're planning to rent a property out. However, a few pockets to be mindful with lower appeal, lower quality stock. My advice, stay away if possible. That's why we're out here doing boots on the ground research to understand these pockets.
Heading up this way, Oliver, is Babinda Drive.
Yep.
So that's sort of like upper Mount Sheridan.
Yeah.
And that's where you start to see the build quality pick up. Being on that side of the road is far more desirable than this side. This is Hardy Road. As you can see, like it's a pretty long,
busy road.
Very busy, very noisy. All of these properties that back onto this street here, you can hear constant noise. In Cairns, obviously different to CBD, you don't often hear a great deal of road noise when you're at home. We don't have train stations, but when you're in these spots close to the road, it's noisy.
So what's happening with supply? This market is tight. Stock on market, just about 0.36%. Inventory, around 1.6 months. And bidding approvals, fairly low, with only 11 approvals on record at the time of recording. So what we're seeing is not a slow rush of new listings or builds coming across, but usually means there's consistency in demand and limited competition, which is exactly what you want if you're buying now and holding. You're getting in at the early cycle, you're going to be able to capitalize that growth of what Mount Sheridan has to offer. Vacancy rate is on the decline, it's healthy, but it is interestingly taking a sharp-nosed deep decline. Let's unpack the numbers a bit more in terms of price, in terms of rent, what's happening here. Let's break this investor grade suburb down. Your median house price, 658 and climbing quite rapidly. Your median weekly rent, anywhere from 550 to your high 500s. It's giving you a good solid rental yield of 5+. That's solid, not jaw dropping, but very much respectable, especially when you're buying in a suburb with a long-term appeal. So Emma, we've seen the good, the bad, the ugly. From a rental perspective, how do you manage all of that?
Tenant selection is key. The ability to fit the right person with the property for landlord, tenant, and us as the agency is key. And that's obviously just through stringent checks. We run everything sort of past each other in the office. So everyone's got a little bit of input. That way, you don't just get a one-sided perspective, and you've got a pretty solid sort of case.
And managing vacancy, or from time of settlement to getting a tenant in if it's vacant possession, what do you guys do to make sure that time lost is minimal?
Price, presentation, promotion. Our aim is to secure the best return for a client. If it's not working, it's pretty clear from about day 3. So being proactive with price adjustments is key. Make sure the property is presenting well. Even just little things like open for inspections, lights, air cons and fans on. It just makes the place seem alive.
Especially in summer.
Oh, it's a non-negotiable in summer. Promotion is something that it kind of comes part and parcel with modern day tech. But it's just having good photos and a presence, not just, putting a listing online. So
how long are people holding in Mount Sheridan? The hold period is just under 10 years, 9.84 years to be exact. What this means, people aren't moving in, moving out. They're not flipping properties here. They're buying, they're staying, they're renting out for the long term. The properties are selling pretty quick, right? What I mean by pretty quick, couple of weeks, sometimes even less. So that tells me buyers are paying attention, even in a suburb that's not getting as much hype as it should be. So, $1 million question, should you be investing here? Mount Sheridan is a house dominant market. No units, no duplexes in play. So if you're buying a family home, you are simply not competing with a bunch of off-the-plan apartments, off-the-plan units. That's a classic win. It's ideal for a buy and hold strategy, steady yield, low turnover, great renter profile, and slightly stable families in the right pockets of Mount Sheridan. Nothing volatile, but everything dependable. Affordability is ideal. We're at that 31 years of mortgage to income ratio, well below the 35-year affordability index threshold that we particularly like to look at for. So, what's at play here? If you're looking for a drama-free suburb with consistent returns, good infrastructure, and a tight supply, restricted supply both from the short term, medium term, and long term, Mount Sheridan is a sleeper worth considering. If you want speculative growth, maybe that is not your spot. But if you're playing with a long-term game with a solid yield and minimal fuss in terms of a set and forget, this could be a smart, stable hold. Let me know if Mount Sheridan's been on your radar, or even if you've invested nearby to capitalize on the early growth. Keen to hear what your thoughts are, what I'm seeing on the ground, and I hope that you found this breakdown helpful. Drop me a like or a comment, and it really helps grow the channel. It lets me know what suburbs you want covered next. So catch you on the next one.